Hello everyone, we have to discuss about that UPSC project. Question number 61. Consider the following statement about the national cooperative unions of NCUI. It is the apex body of the representation all sectors and of the Indian cooperative movement. जा बाता घुमा दी. छड्डी पहने हो ना. It is membership and is not open to the multi-state corporation society. It is the organizing Indian Cooperative Congress ICC and with the theme of Amrit Kal. How many of the above statements are correct? Only two is correct. Explanations देख लेते हैं. The National Cooperative Union of the India NCUI is the apex body of the representative of all the sectors of the Indian cooperative movement. It is the objectives include the promotion and development of the cooperative movement in India to educate, guide and the assisting the pupils in their the effort and to build up and the expand the cooperative sector. It is the memberships is open to the national and state level cooperative organizations as well as the multi-state cooperative society. As of the 2016 NCUI had the 260 members, including 70 nationals, 163 and state and 80 multi-state cooperatives. It is organizing an Indian Cooperative Congress ICC and with the theme of the Amrit Kal and prosperity through the corporations for other brilliant vibrant India, and it will be the chaired by the Union Minister of Home and Corporation. And the objectives of Indian Cooperative Congress are to discuss various trends in the cooperative movement, to showcase the best practices being the adaptations by the successful cooperative, to deliberated on challenges being faced by the cooperative world. Question number 62. Consider the following statement about the National Research Foundation NRF. It will provide fellowships and for the postdoctoral research, and it will be the administratively and houses in Department of Science and Technology DST. The Prime Minister will be the ex officio president of NRF, and it will the for collaborations and among the industry, academic, government, department and research institution. Choose the correct option. फर्स्ट सेकंड थर्ड इज करेक्ट. एक्सप्लेनेशंस देख लेते हैं. The National Research Foundation NRF is in the apex body to promotes the fund and the manders and function and scientific research in higher education institution. The initial budget of the raise 50,000 and crores for the over other 5 years and period between the 2023 and 2028. It will provide fellowships for the postdoctoral research, the funding for which is not ours right now. It will be the administratively and houses in the Department of Science and Technology and DST. It would have other 60-member governing board of those and 2 members and from the DST and 5 from the industry and 1 from the humanities and 6 and the experts, and would be the selected depending on the natures of the project and being the evaluated. The Prime Minister will be the ex officio Prime President of the NRF. The Minister of the Science and Technology, the Minister of the Education will be the ex officio Vice President, and NRF. The functioning will be the governed by and the Executive Council chaired by the principal scientific advisors and to the Government of India. NRF and build the force and collaborations and among the industry and academia and government department and research institution. It will the create and the interfaces mechanism and for the participations and contributions of industries and state government in additions to the scientific and line ministries. Question number 63. Consider the following statement about the Padma Award. It was instituted in the 1954 and to the recognized achievement in all the field of the activities and where and the element of the public servants is involved. It is announced and every year and on the occasion of the Independence Day and is presented by the President of India. Government servant and including those working and with the PSUs and expected doctor and the scientist are not eligible for this award. Choose the correct code. First and third. Padma Award was instituted in the 1954 to recognize achievement. Recognize achievement in all field of the activities and where and the element of the public services is involved. The award are given in three categories and Padma Vibhushans and for exceptionals and discussed and services. Padma Vibhushans and for the distinguished services of higher orders. Padma Shri for distinguished service and it is announced and every year on the occasion of Republic and Day and is presented by the President of India and there was other brief interruptions and during the years and 1978 and 1979, 1993 and 1997 and all persons without distinctions of race, occupations, positions or sex and are eligible for those awards. Government servants and including those working and with the PSUs and expert doctors and scientists are not eligible for those award. The awardees are presented either sanad and the certified and signed and by the president and the medallions. The recipient and are also the giving either small recipient replacia and of the medallions and which they can the bears during any the ceremonial state function etc. Question number 64. Consider the following statement about the champions portals. It is either single window grievance and redressal portals for the micro, small and medium enterprises MSME and it was the launched by the Ministry of the Commerce and Industry. Choose the correct code. Only one. Champion portal is a single window and the grievances and redressals and portals for the micro, small and medium enterprise MSME. The champions and standard here for the creation and harmonious applications of modern process for increasing the outputs and the national strength. It is created in the hub and the spoke model. The hub and the spoke model is the transportations or distribution systems and that uses the central hub or the node as the focus point for the movement goods, pupils or information to and the from various spokes or the peripheral locations and hub is located in New Delhi in the secretary MSME office and spokes will be in the state in various offices the institutions of the ministry and it was launched on the June 1, 2020 and by the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises and the statement second is incorrect. The champions and 2.0 portals will now the incorporated all drivens and shared board and it will be the available in 11 language including Hindi, Gujarati, Bengali, Kannada. The portals will also have the real time and feedback mechanism for its the analysis. Question number 65. Consider the following statement about the Karchi Puja. Kharchi Puja. It is one of the main festival of the year. It is performed during the month of the July against on the 8th month of the new moon. Two only. Explanation देख लेते हैं. The word Karchi is derived from the two Tripuri words and khar or the kurta meaning sin and the chi or si meanings and cleaning. Karchi is one of the main festival of the Tripuras and it is performed during the month of the July August on the 8th day of the new moons, and during the festival the people of the Tripuras worships the earth amongst theirs the 14th deities. The 14 god and are the worshipped by the royals, priest and the chantai. It lasts for the 7 days and it takes place at old the Agartalas and in the 14th goods and temples known as the Chaturdasha and Devta temple. Priests and the Kharchi pujas and deities do not have a full body. They have only head that and are the worshipped, and on the day of the pujas and the 14th good are taken and from the temples to the rivers and sadra by the chantai and members and given to the bath and with the holy rivers waters, and they are then carried back to the temples, and the festival is celebrated by the both tribals and non-tribals peoples of Tripura. 66 statement. Question number 66. Consider the following statement about the cobalt and gallium, graphite and lithium and critical mineral in India. Thus are the elements that are the crucials and to the modern day technologicals and are at the risk of the supply chain disruptions, and which one of the following is correct respect of the above statement? A. Both statement first and statement second are correct. Explanation of statement A, statement second. Government of India through the Ministry of the Mines is set to the unveils and for the first time and the list of the critical miners for India and miners and such as the antimony and cobalt and galliums and graphites and lithium, nickels, niobiums and the strontiums and are among the 22 assets and to be the critical for India. And critical miners are the elements and that are the crucial to modern day and the technologies and are of risk of the supply chain and disruptions, and many of thus are required and to meet the manufacturing need of the green technologies and high tech equipment, aviations and national defense. Question number 67. Consider the following statement and statement 1. National Strategic Day is celebrated on the 29th June every year. It is celebrated to the commemorate and the birth anniversary of the Aryabhatta, and which one of the following is correct respected of the above statement? Statement 1 is correct but statement second is incorrect. Explanations देख लेते हैं. National Strategic Day is celebrated on the 29th June every year, and this year the theme selected for the Strategic Day 2023 and is the alignment of the state indicators frameworks and with the national indicators and frameworks for the monitoring and sustainable development goal. It is celebrated to the commemorate the birth anniversary of the Prof and the Prashantas Chandras and Mahalanobis, and the Prashanta and Chandras and Mahalanobis is considered and the father of the modern static in India. He founded the Indian Static Institution ISI and the saved the planning commissions. Consider the following statement about the Central Board for the Film Certificate (CBFC). It is the statutory body and under the Cinematograph Act 1952. It is work under the Ministry of the Information and Broadcasting, and film can be the publicly and excited in the Indias and only after they are certified and by the CBFC. Choose the correct code. फर्स्ट सेकंड थर्ड इज करेक्ट. एक्सप्लेनेशंस देख लेते हैं. The Central Board of the Film Certified (CBFC) is the statutory body under the Cinematographs and Act of the 1952. It is the headed and by the central government appointed chairpersons and the 12 to 45 non-official members. The members are eminent and persons from social science, education, laws, arts, or the finance and background appointed. Its work under the Ministry of the Information and Broadcasting. It is the headquarters in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Film can be the publicly and the exhibited in India only after they are the certified and by the CBFC, and it is examined and filmed for the context and that may be harmful or unsuitable for the some particular audience and particularly children and young pupils. It ensures and that the film and adhere and to the ethicals and standard respectively and cultural value and the societal norms, and after the evaluating the context and classifying the films and the CBFC and grant other certificate and that the permits the film public exhibitions. Film are certified under for the categories and you the unrestricted and public exhibitions are restricted and to the adult audience and UA and unrestricted and public exhibitions subject and to the parentals and guidance for children below the age of the 12th, and as the restricted and to the specialized and the audience such as the doctor or the scientist. The board may also refuse to the certified. Question number 69. Consider the following statement about the green credit programs and GCP. It will be the administered by the Indian Council of the Forestry Research and the Education (ICFRC). It is the objective is to the create other marketplace and mechanism for undertaking environment and friendly activities. Choose the correct code. Both 1 and 2 are correct and explanations देख लेते हैं. The Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education (ICFRC) and will be the administrations of the green credit programs GCP, and it will the manage and the monitors and the operators the entire programs, and ICFRC is an the autonomous organization or governmental agency under the MOEFCC. It is aimed and to the generated advanced and disseminated scientific knowledge and technologies for the economic, ecological and security, improve the productivity and livelihood, enhances and sustainable use of the forest research through the forestry research and education. Its objective is to the create other market-based mechanism for undertakings and environment-friendly activities such as the affordable programs and water conservations by the providing aiding intensives and in the forms of green credit, and it will be the launch and aid the national levels to the incentives and the voluntary environment actions of various stakeholders. It will encourage and private sector industries by taking the actions and which are able to the coverage and with the activities and relevant to the generated or buying green credits. Green credit is and the incentives and that the individuals and farmers productions organization FPO and industries and rural urban local bodies among after other the stakeholder will be the available and to earn and for the environment positive actions. Question number 70. Consider the following statement about just energy transition partnerships and ZP deals. It is an the initiative to accelerate the phasing out of the coal and the reduce emission. It was launched at the 27th UN Climate Changes Conference of Parties COP27. A only one is correct and explanations देख लेते हैं. Senegal has become the fourth country and after the South Africa, Indonesia and the Vietnams and to sign the JP deals and just the energy and transitions partnership. JP and deal is an the initiative to accelerate the phasing out of the coal and reduction emissions, and its objective is to reduce the emission in the energy sector and accelerations the coal phases out process, and it is the moderate for the South Africa to support the South Africa decarbonizations and efforts the JETS, and was the launch at the 26th UN Climate Changes Conference of the Partisan COP26 in the Glasgow, and with the supports of the United Kingdom and UK, the United States, US and France, Germany and the European Union EU. Question number 71. Consider the following statement about the Provident and Fund PF. It is the fixed amount of the money and that is the contributed by the employees and from their salary and until the retirement. It is provided good investment opportunity to the individuals upon retirement. It is the regulated by the Ministry of Finance. PF fund. B. Only two explanations देख लेते हैं. Provident Fund PF is the fixed amount of the money and that is the contributed by the employees and from there the salary until the retirement, and it is used to the provide other lump sums on or the monthly and the payment and to the salaries and employees when they retired. It is provided good investment opportunity to individuals upon the retirement. The one-time inflow of the money and can aid them in changing the home, openings and new business and educating and dependents, medical emergency, or just investing in the manner funds and the government regulated and provided fund in India through the in employees and provided fund organization EPFO and EPFO implement the employees and provided fund and the miscellaneous Provident Act of the 1952. Question number 72. Consider the following statement about the United Nations Office and for Outspace Affair UNOOSA. It helps the countries and use space data and technologies and to prevent and the manage disaster. It is the headquarters in the New York. The office of the director oversees and coordinates the strategic directions and operations prosperity of UNESCO UNOOSA. Choose the correct code. C. First and third is correct. Explanations देख लेते हैं. The United Nations Office for the Outspace Affairs UNOOSA helps countries and use space data and the technology to prevent and the management disaster. Its objective is to help all countries and especially developing countries access and leverage the benefits of the states to the acceleration sustainable development. It helps the countries understand the fundamental of international space laws and increasing their capabilities to the draft or revise national space law and policies. It is support transparency in the space activities and it is helps to the promote sustainable development through space. It is headquartered in Geneva and Vienna, Austria. It is headed and by and the Office of the Director and has 5 sections. The Office of the Director OD and oversees and the coordinated the strategic directors and operation priorities of the UNOSA Committee and Policy and Legal Affairs section CPLA and provided the sustainable and secretarial organization and administration administrative supports and the space applications sections and SAS and plan and the implementations the United Nations programs on space applications. United National platforms for the space-based information for the disaster management and emergency response, and UN the spiders is the programs of the UNOOSA to leverage and space data and the applications for the disaster risk educations the exclusively secrets of the International Committee on GNSS brings together all the global navigation satellite system and GNSS providers the office of the directors and OD oversees and coordinates the strategic directors and operations prosperity of UNOSA. Question number 73. It is the oldest and largest national park in Maharashtra. It is the Maharashtra second Tigers Reserve with tropical dry deciduous forest above the statement and the refers to which of the following tiger reserve? B. Tadoba Andheri Tiger Reserve. Tadoba Andheri Tiger Reserve. Tadoba Andheri Tiger Reserve. Explanations देख लेते हैं. Tadoba Andheri Tiger Reserve is located in the Chandrapur district in Maharashtra, and it is the Maharashtra oldest and largest national park. The reserve is the second tiger reserve in Maharashtra. It has the tropical dry deciduous forest and with the dense woodlands, and it is the comprises about the 67% of the protected area. Teak is the predominant trees. The species the other trees are the bamboo, ains and bijas and dodab and haldu, salai and salams and sesams and shishko and suryas and serums. The first tiger reserve established in the Maharashtra in the Melghat Tiger Reserve. Question number 74. Consider the following statement about the greedflations, and it is the phenomenon and where the corporated green becomes other significant factor in the flowing inflations, and the Indian corporate sector has not been affected by the choose the correct code. Choose the correct code A, only one. The greenflations and simply and means the corporated green is the flowing and inflation. It is the phenomenon and where the corporates. Where the corporate greed is flux inflation, it is the phenomenon where the corporate greed and becomes other significant factor in the fueling inflation. It is implies that the companies and the exploited and the inflations and that the peoples and where the experiencing by the putting and up there the prices and behaviors and just the coverings their increased cost, and this was then and used to the maximizing there's the profit margin, and the Indian corporated sector has generated superlatives profit in the post-pandemic period and profit during the recent and times and have been the nearly and thrice the profits and corporated earned earlier. 75. Consider the following statement regarding the alerts and issues by the Indian Meteorological Department. Correctly. Two pairs. Orange be prepared and yellow all is well, and or red take action and green be aware. Only two pairs is correct. Explanations देख लेते हैं. Yellow be aware and orange be prepared and red take action and green all is well. The Indian Meteorological Department IMD uses for the colors code and the green all is well and no the adversary is issues. Yellow be aware and yellow indicated the severely and bad the weather spanning and the several days, and orange umbers and be prepared the orange the alert and is issues as other warnings and of the extremes and extreme bad weather and with the potentials and disruptions in the communication with road and the rail and the closures. closures and interruptions of power supply, and take action, and when the extremely bad weathers and conditions are the certainly and going to the disrupted and troubles and powers and have the significant risk to the life and red alert issues. Question number 76. Consider the following statement about the Tenzing Norgay and National Advantage Awards Tana. It is the named after the one of the first individuals to reach the summits of the Mount Everest, and it is the awarded and by the Ministry of the Youth Affairs and Sports, and its objective is to the recognize the achievement of the persons in the field of the advanced. How many the above statements are correct? See all three. The Tenzing Norgay National Park Advanced Award are given every year, and the award is named after the Tenzing Norgay. Tenzing Norgay is one of the first two individuals to reach the summits of the Mount Everest along and with the Edmund and the Hillaries in 1953. It was the first awarded in the 1994. It is given by the Ministry of the Youth Affairs and Sports, and its objective is to the recognize the achievement of the person in the field of the advantage and to encourage youth pupils to develop the spirit of the endurance and risk tasking and operatives and teamwork and the quick ready and effective reflexes in changing the situations, as to provide the incentives and to the youth pupils for getting exposed to the advantage activities. A person should have the excellence and the performance and outstanding qualities of leadership, a sense of the adventures and disciplines, and the continued achievement in one the particulars and field of the adventures, land, airs, or water and sea. The award may be given and the posthumously, and if such and the occasions arises, and no awards will be conferred and for other second times to the same persons and under the same categories. The government of India and may cancel or annuals and the award to any the person and under the circumstances and which in the opinion of the government and might the renders such the person unworthy of the award. The award consists of other bronze statues and either certificates and either blazers with other silkens, teas and sarees and an award money of the race 15 lakh. Question number 77. Consider the following statement about the Order of the Nail. It is South Africa's highest state honor institution in 1915. It is the pure gold colors and consisting of the 3 squares unit and comprising pharaonic and symbols. It is the conferred upon head of the state and crown princess and the vice presidents. B. Second and third is correct. एक्सप्लेनेशंस देख लेते हैं. Recently, Egypt Order of the Nile and was conferred to the Indian Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, and the Order of the Nile is Egypt and highest the state honors and institution in 1915. It is pure gold colors and consisting of the 3 square gold units comprising the pharaonic and symbols. Pharaonic symbols and were the numerous symbols and in the life of the ancient Egyptians and various in the theirs the symbols and rituals and use. It is the conferred upon head of state crowns and princes and the vice president who offers the Egypt of the humanity and invaluable services. (78) Consider the following statement about the Global Environment Facilities (GEF). It was the initially set up and the fund under the World Bank in 1991. It is the serve as the financial mechanism for the conventions on biological diversity (CBD), and India is not the founders members of the GEF. फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड इज करेक्ट. ऑन एक्सप्लेनेशंस देख लेते हैं. The Global Environment Facility is GEF and was initiated, set up and the fund under the World Bank in 1991. In 1992, aid the Rio Earth Summits and the GEF and was the restructured and moved out of the World Bank system to become a permanent and separated institution since 1994. And however, the World Bank has served as the treaty and the trustee of the GEF and trust and funds. It is served as other financial mechanism for the Convention on the Biological Diversity and CBD and United National Frameworks and Conventions on the Climate Changes UNFCCC, UN Conventions to combat desertification and UNCCD and Stockholm and Conventions on the President Organizations and pollutant POPs and Minamata and Conventions on the Mercury and the Montreal Protocols and the substances and that the deplete the ozone layers. India is the founder member of the GEF and is it is both donors and the recipient of GEF funds. 79. Consider the following statement about the Rani Durgavati. And she was born in the 1524 in the Chola dynasty, and the Madan Mahal fort in the Jabalpur is associated with the Rani Durgavati. The universities of the Jabalpur and was the renamed and as the Rani Durgavati and the Vishwavidyalaya. Choose the correct code. B, second and third. Explanations देख लेते हैं. Rani Durgavati was born in the 1524 and in the Chandela dynasty, and it is the hailed and as other patriotic rulers and defense of the culture, becoming the symbol of the pride and honors. And Madan Mahal is other Subardhans and area. Subardhan area of the Jabalpur famous for the historical Durgavati fort, and the area also has other railway stations and named the Madan Mahal. The fort dated back to the 11th century AD. The fort is well associated with the Rani Durgavati, the Gond queens, and her the son Veer Narayanas, and Rani Durgavati eventually did fighting the Mughals, and he is held as Ada martyred in the Indian history. The universities of Jabalpur was renamed Rani Durgavati and Vishwavidyalays and by the Madhya Pradesh government in 1983. On June 24 and 1988, the Indian government released other postage stamps in the memories of her. The Durgavati Express and 449 and 450 and runs between the Jabalpur junctions and the Jammu Tawi and is the named for the Queens and the third inshore patrol and vessels IPB of its kind, and ICGS Rani Durgavati was the commissioned and by the Indian Coast Guard on the July 14, 2018. Question 80. Consider the following statement about the flash flood. It is the repeat flood of the geomorphic and the low-lying areas like the lakes and the washes. According to the NDRF and report, 70 of the land mass is the Indians is the pattern to the flood. One only. The flash flood is flooding of the geomorphological slow lines and areas and the washes, rivers, dry lakes and the basin. It may be caused by the heavy rain associated with other severe and the thunderstorms and the hurricane, tropical storm or the melt waters and from the ice or the snow flowing over ice sheets or the snow field, and according to the NDRF and reports 40 million hectares. 10% of the land mass in India is the prone to the floods and the hence on averages every year 5 million hectares of the land and are affected 1600 and lives are lost and more than the 1800 crores and is the increased between the 1917 and 2004 and 3 flood occupied and per years on the averages. However, between 2005 and 2019 the yearly averages rose to the 11.19 and districts were the affected annually on and the averages until 2005. After the 2005 the numbers and jumped to the 55. 2017 analysis suggested that the 4.48 billion Indians are the exposed to the river Rhines and flood the highest in the world. भूख ही लग रही है भाई. दे देख वो क्या रहा है. Consider the following statement about the Smart City Mission. It is the joint effort of the Ministry of the Housing and the Urban Affairs and MOHO and all state and the union UT government. It is fundamentals and the principle including the community aid, the core and more from the less. It is implementation. Consider the following statement about the Smart City Missions. Smart City Mission, it is joint effort of the Ministry of the Housing and the Urban Affairs MOHUA and all the state and the union territories UT government. It is the fundamentals and principles including the community aid, the core and the more from less. It is implementation at the city levels and will be the done and by other special purpose vehicles and PSB. How many above the statement are correct? C, only C is correct. Smart City Mission is other C. Smart City Mission is the joint effort of the Ministry of the Housing and the Urban Affairs MOHUA and all state and union territories UT's government, and it is the centrally sponsored scheme CSS, the central government and the gives the financial supports and to the millions to the extended of the race and the 14,000 and crores over the 5 years and averages of the 100 crores per cities per years. It is fundamental principle include the community aid, the core and the more for less. It is implementation at the cities level and will be done by the special purpose vehicles and SPH and the special purpose vehicles also called other special purpose entity and SPE and is other subsidiary and the created by other parents and company to the isolated financial risk and the ASP by and is the promoted and by the state union territories. ASP is other subsidiary and the created by the parents company absolute finance. The SPBN is the promoted by the state, union territories, and the urban locals bodies, and with other 50% or 50% equal shareholding each and SPY. The SPY and formed as other limited company is the government by the Companies Act of 2023. Question number 82. Consider the following statement about the Mahadai river. Mahadai river, it is oriented in the western and Ghats and from the Bhim Ghat and wildlife sanctuaries in the Karnataka, and it is the left and bank, and the tribes and are the Tapa, Tampra, Parani river, and the Ben Gangas and rivers, and the Bardha rivers, and the Salim Ali World Sanctuaries is situated on it. Choose the correct code. C is correct. C is correct. First, second, third. First and third is correct. Mahadai river is also known as the Mahadavi river. Mahadavi river is also known as the Mandovi river, and it is oriented in the western Ghat from the Bhim Ghat and wildlife sanctuary in the Belgium's districts of the Karnataka, and it is flow for about 81 km before emptying and into the Arabian Sea. The river is formed by the confluences of the two rivers, and the Dadi and the Markandeas, and its the left bank and tributaries are the Dadi rivers and Malaprabha rivers, and the Markandeya river, it is the right bank and tributaries are the Tamparabha river and the Markandeya rivers. Tamparabha river and the it is right bank tributaries are the Paraparani rivers and the Banghata rivers and Bardha rivers, and dams on the Mahadevi and rivers are the Hidkal Dam. The Hidkal Dam located in the Balghati districts of Karnataka. The Hidkal Dam located in the Balghati districts of Karnataka. The Belilium Dam located in the South Goa, and the Vardi Dam located in the Balghavi districts of Karnataka. The Salim Ali World Sanctuary is situated on the island of the Chora, which is located in the Mandhori rivers, and the Mahadai rivers is of great importance to the state of the Goa, Karnataka, and serving as the source of the water for the drinking, irrigation, and tourism. Question number 83. Consider the following statement about the Kedarnath temple. It is located on the Garhwal Himalayas and ranges, and near the Mandakini rivers, and it is one of the It is from Mandakini river. It is located on the Garhwal Himalayas ranges near the Mandakini river. It is forms on one of the four sides of the Chota Char Dham pilgrimage circuit. Choose the correct code. B. First, second, third is correct. Explanations देख लेते हैं. Kedarnath temple is the Hindu dedicated to the Lord Shiva. It is located on the Garhwal Himalayas ranges near the Mandakini river in the Rudraprayag and districts of the Uttarakhand, and the Mandakini river is the tribe of the Alaknanda river. It is the emerge and from the Chorabari and glacier. It is runs between the Rudraprayags and the Sonprayags and areas, and Kedarnath forms one of the four sides of the Chota Ghar Dam and pilgrims the circuits. The Chota Ghar Dam pilgrims refers to the journey and up the mountain to four secrets and temples in the North Asian state of the Uttarakhand, and the four temples and are the Yamunotri and Dam and Gangotri dams and the Badrinath Dam and the Kedarnath Dam, and it is one of the 12 Jyotirling of the Lord Shiva in India. Jyotirling is a shrine and where Lord Shiva is worshipped in the form of the Jyotirlingam. 12 Jyotirling in India. 12 Jyotirling Srinath 12 Jyotirlingas Srinath, India. It is said that the Pandavas constructed the Kedarnath temple. It was later reconstructed by the Adi Shankaracharya in the 8th century AD. 8th century AD. It is excited the architecture and is built of the extremely large and but the eventually saved and grey stone slabs and are the interlocked and with the each others and with the use of the iron clamps. No mortar has been used in the constructions of the temples, and there is other conical rock structure inside the Kedarnath temple that is the worship is the Shadashiva forms of the Shiva. Question number 84. Consider the following statement. The Debrigarh Wildlife Sanctuary is located in the Assam, and Hirakund Dam is on the Mahanadi River, and the Shimlipal is the largest national park in Odisha. Choose the correct options. Option A2 only. Option C. The Debrugad Wildlife Sanctuary is located in the Barghar districts in the Indian state of the Odisha, covering other total areas of the 346.91 and kilometers square. It is situated near the city of the Sambhalpur. Hirakund Dam. It was declared the wildlife sanctuary in the 1985, and it is the dry deciduous forest. Hirakund Dam is on the Mahanadi River. Major protection areas in the Odisha National Park: Bhitarkanika National Park, Simlipal National Park, and Simlipal is the largest national park in Odisha and also considered as one of the principal tiger projects in India. Wildlife sanctuaries: Badrama WLS and Chilka, Nalban Islands and WLS, and the Hadgar WLS, and the Beshi Pali and WLS, and the Kotagad WSS, and the Dankana WSS, and Lakhari Valley WLS, and the Gahir Matha Marine WLS. Question number 85. Consider the following statement about the Floris and the Nightingales Awards. It is the highest national designations either doctors and can the achieve for the exceptionals and professionalism, and it is the giving by the Minister of the Health and the Family Welfare. It is consist of other case award of the 15,000 other certified and other medals. Choose 2 and 3 is correct. Explain. The Florence Nightingale Award is the highest national district in nurse can achieve the selfless devotions and the exceptional professionalism. The Florence Nightingales and Award is the highest national distinctions of the national nurse and can achieve and for the selfless devotions and exhibitions and professionalism of Florence Nightingales and was an English social reformers and statisticians and the founders of the modern nursing, and she come to the promises and while the serving as other managers and trainers of nurses during the Crimean wars and be organized and to care for the wounded soldiers and the Constantinople. It is given by the Ministry of the Health and the Family Welfare. It was instituted as the marks of the recognized and for the meritorious services and tendencies and by the nurses and nursing professionals and to society. The above consist of the case award of the 15,000 a certificate and the medals. The award is given and to the outstanding nursing and personals employed in central state UTI and private missionaries or voluntary organizations. Question number 86. Which part of the Constitution of India contain the emergency provisions? A. Part 18. Explanations देख लेते हैं. The emergency provision were the content in the part and the 18 of the Constitutions of India from the Article 352 and 360 and thus the provisions enables the central government to meet any the abnormals and the situation effectively. The Constitution stipulated 3 times of the emergencies and national emergency, constitution emergency, financial emergency. Consider the following statement about the Artemis Award. It is non and binding, not and bindings, and set of the principal design and to the guide military space exploitation. It is finding members of the include Australia, Canada, Italy, and the Luxembourg. So choose the correct options. And B, 2 only. The Artemis Award is a non-bindings and set of the principle designed to the guide civil space and exploitations and use in the 21st centuries. It is non the binding agreement and with the no financial commitment. It was established in the 2020 by the NASA's in the coordinations and with the US Department of State and established the Artemis and the Accord and with the 8th founders and nations, and it is the founding members are the Australia, Canada, Italy, Japan, Luxembourg, United Arab Emirates and the United Kingdom and the USN are Temic Accord and the signatories, and as of May 2023 and are Australia, Bahrain and Brazil, Canada and Zambia, Colombia and Kyrgyz and Republic, France, Israel, Italy, Japan, Luxembourg, Mexico, New Zealand, Nigeria, Poland and the Republic of Korea and Romania, and Rwanda, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Spain, Ukraine, the United Arab Emirates, the United States and the United States. Question number 88. Consider the following statement about the Food Corporation of India (FCI). It is the statutory body under the Food Corporation Act of the 1964. It works under the Ministry of the Consumers Affairs, Food and the Public Distributions. Both 1 and 2 is correct. Explanations देख लेते हैं. The Food Corporation of India is the statutory body under the Food Corporations Act of 1964. It is works and under the Ministry of the Consumers Affairs and Food and the Public Distributions. It is headquartered in New Delhi and objective of the FCI. Effective price and the supports and operations force the safeguard the interest of the farmers, distributions of food gains throughout the country and for the public distribution system, and maintaining the satisfactory and level of the operations and butters stock of the food grains to ensure the national food security, effectively process supports and the operation for the safeguardings and the interest of farmers. Question number 89. Consider the following statement about the compositions of the National Human Rights Commission (NHRC). It is the multi-members and body consisting of the chairperson, five full-time members and the 7 demerit members, and they serve for 5 years or until they attain the age of the 17 years, and whichever is earlier, and they can be removed only the charges of the province and misbehaviors or the incapabilities. Choose the correct code. फर्स्ट एंड थर्ड इज करेक्ट. एक्सप्लेनेशंस देख लेते हैं. The National Human Rights Commission (NHRC) is the multi-members body consist of the chairperson and 5 full-time members and 7 deemed members, and chairpersons and will be the retired and Chief Justice of India or the judge of the Supreme Court, and the chairman and the members are appointed by the President on the recommendation of the 6-member committees consist of the Prime Minister, head and Speaker of the Lok Sabha, and deputy chairpersons of the Rajya Sabha, leader of the oppositions in the both houses of the Parliament, Union Home Minister, and they serve and for the 3 years or until they attain the age of the 70 years, and whichever is earlier, and the President can remove them and for the office under the specific circumstances, and they can remove only and on the charges and of the province and misbehavior or the incapability if the proved by and the inquiry and conducted by other Supreme Court judges. Question number 90. Consider the following statement about the United Nations Education, Scientific and the Cultural Organization (UNESCO). India is the funding member of the UNESCO. India got re-elected and to the UNESCO accepting and board for the 21 and 25 terms. United States of America is not and the member of the UNESCO. How many of the above statement are correct? B. Only 2. एक्सप्लेनेशंस देख लेते हैं. It is the specialized agency of the United Nations. UN is the UN is the national international organization founded in the 1945, and it is work for the mandating internationals and peace and the security protection human rights, delivers humanitarianism and aid, and the promotes sustainable development and the uphold international law and objective promoting world peace and security through the international cooperation in education, the science and the culture, and its headquarters and the Paris, France. Member, it has the 194 members state and the 12 associated members, as well as the partners in the non-governmental, intergovernmental, and private sector. Recently, USA and rejoining the UNESCO UN members state, not the UNESCO members. And issue of the USA leaving the UNESCO in the 2011, UNESCO included the Palestine and is a as other member. This led and to the US holdings, the agency funding worth and millions of the dollars, and under then the President Barack Obama's and reasons to stop the fundings and UNESCO's Israel's and the United States terminated the including of the Palestinians and the UNESCO naming of the what areas in Israel's and claims and where the unsigned Jewish sites as the Palestinians and heritage site as other example of the anti-Israel's wise and as you know and owning to the country and historical ties and with the Israel's and prohibits and fundings to any the UN agency, and that the implies recognize of the Palestinians and demand for their the one state consequently in 2019 the US and the Israel and pulled out of the UNESCO cities and BS, and in the organization in the Palestine issues the US had the pulled out of the UNESCO once earlier and in the 1984, and then the rejoined in the 2003 and recently development, and it was the negotiated and recently through and the agreement in 2022, and that the USA and will the begin giving US funds again use of the Palestine claims the West Bank and East Jerusalem and the Gaza Strip and territories captured by the Israel in the 1967 and one for the independent state, and Israel disagreed and with the Palestinians claims, and Palestine is not the recognized as other sovereign state and by the United States, India and the UNESCO. India has been other funding members of the UNESCO and it has the ratified and UNESCO Constitution in 1946, and while still and under the colonial rule, and India has been the constituency re-elected and the UNESCO Executive Board since 1946. Recently, India won the re-elected into the Executive Board of the UN and the Cultural and the Educational Organization for the 21 and 25 terms. The hence statement second is correct. Solution: the Bureau of the Indian Standard and BIS. Question number 91. Which of the following are the functions and of the Bureau of the Indian Standard BIS? Standard formulations, product certification, and highly marketing and laboratory services. Choose the correct code. The first, second, third और fourth is correct. Explanations देख लेते हैं. The Bureau of the Indian Standard BIS and was established in the 1986, and it was originally enacted under the Bureau of the India Standard Act of the 1986 Act, a new act to replace the BIS and Act of the 1986, and was introduced in the Lok Sabha and which was subsequently and passed by the both houses of the Parliament in 2016, and it is the headquarters in the New Delhi, and it works under the Ministry of the Consumers Affairs and Food and the Public Distributions, and it has the recognized offices in and the Kolkata Eastern and the Chennai Southern and the Mumbai Western and the Chandigarh Northern and the Delhi Central and the functions of the BIS and standard formulations and products and certification hallmarkings and laboratory services, training services, National Institution of the Training and for the Standardized and Consumers and Affairs and Publicities. Statement analysis the Directorate and of the Civil Aviation and DGCA and is other regulatory and body in the field of the civil aviation primarily and dealing with the safety issues. The function of the DGCA and are the registrations of the civil aircraft and 92 देख लेते हैं. Consider the following statement about the functions of the Direction of the Civil Aviation DGCA issues licenses and to the pilot, aircraft maintenance engineers and the flights engineers, and it is formulated standard of the earthborneness and for the civil aircraft registered in India. How many above the correct statement? See both 1 and 2. Explanations देख लेते हैं. The Directorate of the Civil Aviation DGCA and is other regulatory body in the field of the civil aviation and primarily dealing and with the safety issues. The functions of the DGCA and are the registered of the civil aircraft and the licensing of the pilots, aircraft and maintenance, the engineers and the aircraft and flights engineers, and formulated of the standard or of the airworthiness and for the civil aircraft and registered in India. It is conducts examinations and check for that purpose. Licensing of the air traffics and the controllers and conducting and the investigations and into the accidents and incidents and taking the accident prevention measures and coordination at the national level for the flexible use of the air space by the civil and the military air traffic agencies and interactions and with the ICAO and for the provisions of the more air routes and for the civil use and through the Indian air space and promoting the indigenous and design and the manufacturing of aircraft. Air traffic controllers and are the responsible and for the ensuring the safe and the efficiency and movement of the aircraft in the airspace. International Civil Aviation Organization and ICAO and is other specialized and agency of the United Nations that the coordinated the principles and the technicals of the international air navigation. Question number 93. The Global Gender Gap Report 2023 is released by the World Economic Forum. The Canary Islands are located in D. Spain. Which of the following are the Mesolithic sites? Ganeshwar in Rajasthan and Hatkamba in the Karnataka and Pasra in Bihar and Kutch in Odisha. Choose the correct code. See, first, third and fourth is correct and explanation देख लेना 93, 94 और 95 का. The Global Gender Gap Index is the published annually since 2006 and by the World Economic Forum (WEF). It is the benchmark the current state and the evolutions of the gender parities and across the key dimensions: economic participation and opportunity, education and attainment, health and the survival, political empowerment, and on each of those and the four sub-indicated as well as on the overall index. The GGG and index provided the score between 0 and 1. Full gender party and the complete the imparity, and it is the largest. It is the longest standing index and tracing and the progress of the numerous and countries effort towards the closing thus the gap over the time since its the inception. WEF and is other non-profits and organization based in the Geneva, Switzerland. It is the engages the foremost politicals, business and culturals and others the leaders of the society to shape the global, regional and industries agendas. Canary Island. The Canary Island is a the Spanish archipelago of the coast of the northwestern Africa. It is a the part of the Spain. It is about the 1300 kilometers and south of the mainland and Spain and the 115 kilometers west of the African coast and Morocco. It is located in the Atlantic Ocean. It is a the archipelago. Thus island were the formed by the volcano eruption millions of the years ago. अफ्रीका में है volcano eruptions. Indian Mesolithic sites and Mirzapur districts of the Uttar Pradesh and Tilwaras and Begors and the Ganeshwars in Rajasthan and Patne and Pachhed and the Hatkanda in Maharashtra and Panchmani and Bhimbetka Bagor second and Bagor third and the Ghagaria in Maharashtra, Ghagaria in Madhya Pradesh. Pasra in Bihar on Kuchai in Odisha and Birbandpur in West Bengal or Muchatla, Chintamanau Gavi and Guntar and Gori Gundam in the Andhra Pradesh and Sangan Kallu in Karnataka and Tenmalai in Kerala. Question number 96. Consider the following statement about the characteristic of the Mesolithic rock painting. They mainly show the use of the red color, the hunting scenes and where the prey dominated in the period and animals depicted and include the elephant and bisons, tigers and boars. How many of the above statements are correct? C. All three are correct. The characteristic of the Mesolithic rock paintings. This period and mainly the show the use of the red colors through it is largest the variety of the themes, but the paintings are similar in size and the hunting scenes and where the prey dominated in the period. The paintings depict pupils hunting in the group of the hunting armed and with the barbed spears and pointed sticks, arrow and the bow. Animals and depicted include the elephants and bisons, the tiger, boar, deers and antelopes and leopard, panther, rhinoceros and fish and frogs, lizard and squirrels and 8 times and what's animals were the painted in other naturalistic and styles and the human were depicted in either lifestyle and the stylistic manners and the young old the children and humans equally and find the place in thus the paintings and women are painted both the nude and clothes. In many of the rock shelters and handprints and first prints and dot made by the fingerprintings and are found. One of the most prominent example of the Mesolithic and rock painting is found in the Bhimbetka, Madhya Pradesh. Question number 97. Consider the following statement about the GEM. Gamcovax. It is the India first the mRNA based Omicron specific boosters vaccines. It is works by the introducing a piece of DNA that the corresponds to other viral protection proteins. And how many of the above statements are correct? Only one is correct. Only one is correct. Explanations देख लेते हैं. Gembokem is the India and first the mRNA in best the Omicrons and specific booster vaccines. It is developed by the Genova and the Bios Pharmaceuticals and Limited. It is the supported under the missions COVID Surakshas, and it is other thermostable vaccine and which does not the required an ultra code chains and infrastructure used for the other approved and mRNA based the vaccine, and this makes it is the easy for the deployment and all across India. It is the delivered and intra and the dermally and using other needles and free the injections devices system. It is available for adult over the age of the 18 and 2 doses and will be the administers and the intramuscularly and 28 days apart, and it is works and by the introducing a piece of the mRNA and there the correspondence to other viral proteins. It is created in the nucleus, and when the DNA is the transcripted by the RNA and polymerase to create pre-RNA, and RNA is the single standard RNA molecules that the complemented DNA. Intradermal injections and is other pseudo or superficial and injection of other substances into the determine located and between the epidermic and the hypodermics, and when the administered and the intradermals in the participated as other booster, it is the generated the significant higher immune response. Which Constitution Amendment conferred and the Union Territories of the Delhi with other special status? D. 69 Constitution Amendment Act of the 1991. The 69 Constitution Amendment Act of the 1991 conference the UT of the Delhi with other special status. After India attained the independence on the August 15, 1947, New Delhi was the declared the capital of the Union of India. The Union Territories of the Delhi was constituted from the Chief Commissioners and provisions of Delhi. Provisions of Delhi under the State Recognition Act of the 1956, and it is the redesigned and Delhi as other national capital territories of Delhi, and it is designed the administration of the Delhi under the Article 239 and as the lieutenant and government LG of the Delhi, and thus specials and provisions for the Delhi where the provided under the Article 239 AA. Question number 99. Consider the following statement about the status of the unity. It was the built in the honors of the Subhash Chandra Bose, and it is the tallest. It is the tallest status in the world, and it is the located in the Sadhu Beth Iceland, Gujarat. B is correct. The status of the unity. Unity was built in the honor of the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. It was the inaugurated on the 31 October 2018. It is marked the 143rd and birth anniversary of the Sardar Patel. The status of the unity is the tallest statue in the world, and the standard is the 182 meters 600 feet approximately. It is the later than the China Spring Temple's Buddha status and the almost double the height of the Statue of the Liberty, 93-meter tall in the United States. In 2020, it was added to the 8 wonders and of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization (SCO). It is located in the Sadhuvet Island and Gujarat. The island is on the Narmada rivers, and it is designed by the Padma Bhushan's recipient and sculptures and Ram B. Sutars, and the intricate bronze and cladding works was done by the Chinese boundaries, the Jiangxi and Toxins and Company JTQ. 100 देख लेते हैं, क्वेश्चन नंबर 100।